Hey guys, this is Bridget from the DeVay Homestead. Welcome back. Today for you I have this hat. It's called the Harris Tweed Stitch. It's a needle knitting stitch that I converted to the loom, and if you know anything about needle knitting versus loom knitting, the stitches do not translate the same, but even still you can still come up with this awesome pattern even though it's not going to look the same as if you needle knitted it. I love this one. I think the pattern looks great for a man or a woman. It also looks great on a scarf, which I have another tutorial on the scarf coming up that I'll put out as soon as I put this one out. And it's just a neat little pattern. It gives you, as you can see, a lot of texture. So I just really love this pattern. So let's get started. To begin our hat, we are going to do a cast on, and you can do any method you would like. I'm going to do the double E-wrap method. On looms that I have an anchor peg, I put this on the anchor peg, but I don't have an anchor peg, so I'm going to put it on peg 48. And I am going to be loom knitting this way, clockwise, so this is peg 1, and I'm going to go around to 48. So I'm going to put my slip knot right there, but when I come around, I'll take it off later. To do the double E-wrap method, you're going to take your peg, your working yarn behind the first peg, and you're going to wrap it twice. Then you're going to knit off, and then gently pull your working yarn. And we want to do that all the way around for our cast on. So finish your cast on and meet me back here. So I'm finishing up my cast on, and I'm getting down to the last peg, peg 48. And there are several ways that I deal with my anchor peg slip knot here. Sometimes I will wait till I get around in my brim when I'm doing a purl stitch, and when I have the loop off, I'll slip this off, or you can just take your cast on, and instead of double wrapping this peg with an E-wrap, I'm just going to wrap it once, and then I'm going to just knit off like that. So I can take that yarn and push it inside my loom, and we will weave that in at the end of our project. So now we're ready to start the brim of our hat. So for the brim of this hat, I'm going to be doing 6 total rows. If you want a shorter or longer brim, you can do more or less rows. And I'm going to be using a knit 2, purl 2, repeat all the way around. For my knit stitches in the brim of the hat, I'm going to be using the U-wrap version of the knit stitch. To do the U-wrap version of our knit stitch, we're going to take our working yarn and we're going to half wrap the peg in what looks like the letter U. That's where it gets its name. So we're going to knit off 1, and then knit 2, and then we're going to purl 2. To do our purl stitch, we're going to take our hook underneath the loop that is on the peg. We are going to scoop up our working yarn. Then we are going to take the old loop off the peg, slip the new loop on, and gently pull our working yarn. We're going to do that 2 times for our 2 purl. So we've completed 2 knit, 2 purl. On here, because you're knitting these off, I can't tell which ones were knit and which ones are purl. So if you want to put on slip markers on your loom, you can. They kind of get in my way, so I usually do not use them, but I usually always end in my repeat. So if I step away, I always end in a purl, my 2 knit, 2 purl, and then step away. That way when I come back, I don't have to count. So you can do it any way you would like, but go ahead and repeat that knit 2, purl 2, repeat, and do that for 6 rows. And then meet me back here, and then we will do the body of our hat. Once we're finished the brim of our hat, we're ready to move on to the body. The body of our hat is going to be an 8-row repeat. For the body of the hat, we're going to be using the E-wrap version of our knit stitch. So let's get started. Rows 1 and 2 are going to be identical, and they are going to be a knit 2, purl 2 repeat. So we're going to be using the E-wrap version of the knit stitch, and the way we do our E-wrap version is we take the working yarn, we go behind the peg, and we wrap it in a cursive E. Since we're doing 2 in a row, we can go ahead and wrap 2 and then go straight to our purls. So we knit 2 and purl 2. I like to leave these knit stitches on, and then when I finish the row, I come back and I knit those off. If you would like to knit those off right now, you can knit those off. But if not, leave them and then wait till you finish the row and then come back and knit them off. So I have knit 2, purl 2. I'm going to repeat that around for rows 1 and 2. So go ahead and finish rows 1 and 2 and then meet me back here. I just finished up rows 1 and 2, and now I'm on to row 3 and 4. So for row 3 and 4, it's going to be all knit stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and push my last row down to give me room to E-wrap my pegs. So for rows 3 and 4, it's just going to be E-wrap, knit for all the pegs. So since we're doing a bunch in a row, you can go ahead and wrap whatever you feel comfortable with and then knit off. So go ahead and finish rows 1 and go ahead and finish rows 3 and 4 and then meet me back here. Now we're on to rows 5 and 6. For rows 5 and 6, we are going to do a knit 2, purl 2, repeat all the way around. And we're going to do that for 2 rows, for rows 5 and rows 6. So we're going to knit 2, and remember I'm going to wait to the end of the row and then come back and knit these off, and then purl 2. So go ahead and finish off 2 rows of your knit 2, purl 2 repeat, and then meet me back here, and then we'll do rows 7 and rows 8. I just finished up row 6. Now we're on to the last 2 rows of our 8-row repeat, rows 7 and row 8. For rows 7 and 8, we're going to do a purl stitch on every peg. So go ahead and finish up row 7 and row 8, doing all purl stitches, and then meet me back here. So I just finished up row 8 of my 8-row repeat. Now I'm going to continue for the rest of the hat to repeat rows 1 through 8 till I get the length of hat that you desire. Whenever you get to the length of hat that you want, or about 1/4 inch from that length, you want to end your hat with an all knit row. This is going to help our bind off look better. If you stop after rows 3 or 4, you're fine because those are knit stitches, knit rows. But if not, wherever you stop, and you don't have to finish the whole 8 rows, just wherever you stop, do 1 row of knit, and then we can do our drawstring bind off. So go ahead and complete your hat to the length you want, and then meet me back here. So I finished up the body of my hat to the length I want it, and then I did 1 row of all knit stitches, and now I'm ready for my drawstring bind off. Once we finish the drawstring bind off, now we need to weave in the tail from the beginning. And the way I do that is I just weave it in a little bit away from the beginning of the hat. And then I'm going to make a knot to make sure that this is secure. And then I'm going to weave in that tail. Once we have finished our hat, because we did the U-wrap for the knit stitches on the brim, we just want to kind of pull on those and work those out, and if you'll see, it kind of puts them into the position that they should be in. You can see that happening as I pull. So we just want to pull out each one and stretch it out, and there we have it. Our hat is complete. What a beautiful pattern. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Subscribe to my channel and I'll see you guys later. Bye.